Inside is a game about death and knowledge. In this game, we control a little boy and guide him through the many dangerous and confusing challenges in his path. As the boy travels deeper inside the complex, we witness several inhumane horrors, such as the masses of controlled, animated human bodies that seem alive but have no soul. We discover that the boy is able to control the controlled with the use of special helmets distributed around the building. This ability of control comes to a head when the boy reaches the final laboratory and encounters a monstrous being, the Huddle, a mass of human parts and bodies molded together like Play-Doh. The boy, compelled by some unknown force, frees the creature and is promptly assimilated into it. From then on, we control the Huddle as it smashes through both concrete and flesh alike, trying to escape. Finally, after a long fall, the Huddle comes to rest on a shoreline, surrounded by sand and sunlight. A very peaceful ending to a very bloody game. Or at least, this is how it appears. In fact, as I'll show in this essay, this is not the end, but in reality, another beginning. For as soon as the credits stop rolling, down tumbles another boy, starting the story all over again. In order to understand this, we have to dig deep into one sequence. One sequence that is perhaps the most haunting and the most memorable in the entirety of Inside. One sequence where players die the most and can get stuck for hours. A sequence so incredibly mesmerizing and terrifying that it captivates people into doing whole video essays on it. The Pulse sequence. While this sequence is fun to play and beautiful to listen to, there's more to it than a horrifying boom and a flying body. Its beauty distracts us from the hidden secret that it is showing us. A secret that changes the bedrock of how we view the world of Inside and how we view the end of the game. To discover this detail, we need to look closely at two things the Pulse subtly shows us: knowledge and death. First, let us talk about death. Death in Inside is pretty simple. Every time the boy dies, nothing happens. Let me clarify. When the boy dies, nothing negative happens to us, the player. Sure, we lose a little time and get a little frustrated, but in the grand scheme of things, it costs us, the player, nothing. We don't lose a life or an inventory of loot that took us hours to collect. We just respawn. While at first this doesn't stand out, when you think about it, this respawn mechanic is highly irregular for a video game. And in games like Inside, where everything is in this game very intentionally, there must be a reason that respawning is designed in this way. Now, let us discuss knowledge. As we navigate the little boy through the facility, we have to guide him through many challenges. But as hard as we try, none of us are perfect, and the boy usually ends up dying as much as stormtroopers do in a Star Wars movie. Pretty often. Sometimes we get the boy mauled to death by a pack of rabid dogs. Sometimes we go splat against the concrete after trying to jump gracefully across a gap. Sometimes we just want to feel the gentle breeze hit our body. Whatever it may be, death is a pretty frequent event in Inside. But more importantly, death is how we learn. Because of death, we learn that you need to bait the dogs to the other side of the fence. We learn that the gap cannot be gracefully crossed, and we learn to duck and cover whenever we hear a breeze coming. Regardless of how it happens, death teaches us, and seemingly the boy as well. But wait, if we see the little boy keep dying, how does he keep coming back? How does he keep appearing right back where he just got his head blown off? If you ask me, the Foundation is to blame. It is the Foundation that keeps replacing the boy with a clone right where the former one just died, all in order to see if he can overcome the challenge. The Foundation is, in the sense, a kind of laboratory with a supply of expendable and replaceable rats to run through their maze. We see that the Foundation has a mastery over the human body and mind, so it's not a stretch at all to suggest that they can clone one. There are more hints of cloning in other parts of the game, parts where the boy passes through areas containing unexplained pods or capsules of some kind. as well as areas where children are being experimented on behind glass suspended in water. Both of these things are often directly related to cloning in sci-fi narratives, meaning that the Foundation has the ability to clone. Regardless of if this is true or not, we see through this that the boy appears to exist in multitudes. But why would the Foundation have a seemingly infinite supply of young boys on hand? Well, let me point you to another strange detail. For this, we need to get back to the pulse. One of the many things that stood out to me here was the safety system in place that protects the boy from the blast. Doesn't it seem a little peculiar for a safety system? Listen, I don't know much, but I am pretty sure that this protection system isn't up to OSHA standards. So then, what are these? Did nature just put them there? No! These are not coincidences, these are tests. A test for the boy and an experiment to see how he will overcome it. As the player, we must learn to move the boy with the rhythm of the pulse to move on. Mechanically, this is a puzzle, literally a test for us. How did we not think that this could also literally be a test for the boy himself? And this is not the only time the narrative is transparently a test. Take this room and puzzle. You're telling me that some architect designed these bridges like this? Or this round staircase to nowhere? Heck no. Or take the room next over. Would an engineer really put a critical control panel all the way up here that conveniently lets the boy progress? No. Move further in the game where we have to dodge these spotlights. What are they doing out here? We've previously found them in formerly populous areas, but we are literally in an old rusting warehouse in the middle of nowhere. Who else is traveling through here? Time and time again, the boy and the player are tested. So what does this mean? The whole game is a test in the shape of a line. Call it an obstacle course with higher stakes. Heck, call it a one-person Squid Game, I don't care. But this line is in reality a test. A test in the shape of a line helpfully proctored by the Foundation. But the question is why? Why would the Foundation need to run this test at all? Why would the Foundation rigorously test a little boy? Why test his ability to learn when they clearly already have an advanced understanding of the human body, an understanding that allows them to control people in multitudes? Because the boy is not what's being tested. The Huddle is. Think about it. Throughout the entire game, we see that the Foundation has a fixation with mind control, specifically the ability to control humans en masse. So it would make perfect sense for the Foundation to want to create a creature that has the power to control bodies from far away and learn how to overcome challenges it might face, as long as the Foundation retains some control over the creature. This becomes even more plausible when we consider the secret ending. When the boy unplugs the machine and then falls limp like one of the controlled, it proves that the boy is not in control, and leaves the player wondering who or what is. Well, it's the Huddle. It's the only other creature in the game that we see have the ability to control other beings and also not show evidence of being controlled by something or someone else. The Huddle has been in control of the boy all along, playing him just as much as we thought we were. The secret ending proves not only that the boy is not in control of his own body, but that we, the players, are not in control of it either. We are part of the experiment, not watching it. This narrative is just a twisted, messed up version of a rat navigating a maze trying to find the cheese. Except the boys are the rats, and they're being telepathically controlled by a monstrosity made by humans playing God. So then, what does this mean for us as the player? We clearly have direct control over the boy for the majority of the game, and then once the boy is assimilated, we clearly have direct control over the Huddle. Before this, I had always assumed that the boy was him, a guy with enough plot armor to get through all of the tests and dangers and then become the one in control of the Huddle. But does that make sense? No! If we seemingly play as both the boy and the Huddle, but then find out that the boy is not in control, then it only makes sense that the Huddle is in control of the boy, and we are in control of the Huddle, thus meaning we play the entire game as the Huddle. And that is the big secret of the game. We play as a lab experiment, the first of many monstrosities that will come after us. Remember the train full of human bodies? I wonder how many Huddles could be created from all that. And what is our reward for our success? Freedom. An illusion that we are on the outside of the foundation, when really, we are inside. We are the goal. We are the beating heart of the foundation. And in our success, we have proven to them that their goals can reach fruition. In our success, we have doomed the cycle of death and knowledge to continue, enslaving both more of humanity and Earth as it goes. Congratulations. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.